My friend, let me tell you something straight from the heart. If someone says they want you in their life, don't sit around waiting for them to prove it. Watch their actions. Words are cheap, but actions are loud. If they want you, they will make room for you. You won't have to beg for their time. You won't have to chase their attention. You won't have to question your place in their world. Now here's the truth. You are a child of the Most High God. You are not made to grovel. You are not made to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. No, you are called to walk with confidence, because the one who made the stars also made you, and he doesn't make mistakes. You must learn to act as if you've already achieved the place God has set for you. That means walking in peace, walking in purpose, and walking in love, without needing validation from people who are unsure about you. Let them figure out their confusion without you lowering your worth. We are often tempted to wait on people to make us feel wanted, but the truth is, God already wanted you, He already chose you, He already affirmed you. That's the kind of assurance you need to carry in your spirit. When you act like you've already achieved it, already received love, already been accepted, you stop clinging to people who treat you like an option. Let them go if they must. You're not called to be a placeholder. You're called to be a blessing. If they can't see that, that's their loss, not yours. When you start living like you are already whole, already seen, already loved, something shifts. People will notice the confidence in your step, the peace in your eyes, the power in your silence, and the ones who are meant to walk with you, they'll come, they'll stay, they'll show up every time. So lift your head, wipe your tears. You're not waiting to be chosen. You've already been chosen. You're not waiting to be enough. You are enough. You're not waiting to be worthy. You've always been worthy. Act like it, live like it, and love like it, because when someone truly wants you in their life, you won't have to wonder. You've got to stop measuring your worth by how other people see you, or worse, how they don't. We live in a world where attention is fleeting, affection is often conditional, and people will love you 1 minute and forget your name the next. But hear this loud and clear. Your worth does not rise and fall based on the uncertainty of another human being. It is rooted in something far deeper, far stronger, and far more eternal. Your worth is anchored in the truth that you were fearfully and wonderfully made by the Creator of the universe. God didn't make you to be a question mark in someone else's mind. He made you to be a declaration of His love, a testimony of His purpose, a masterpiece that no one else can replicate. People will change their minds. One day they'll speak sweetly to you, and the next they'll act like you never existed. 1 minute they'll want you close, and the next they'll push you away with silence and distance. But that's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their confusion. Don't internalize someone else's indecision. Don't let someone's inability to see your value make you doubt what God already affirmed. You are not a second option. You are not a backup plan. You are not something someone should figure out when they have time. No, you are chosen, you are seen, you are known, and most of all, you are loved without condition. When someone is unsure about you, it can be deeply painful. You feel like you're being held in limbo, loved just enough to keep hoping, but not enough to feel secure. That's a dangerous place for your heart to live, and the enemy would love nothing more than for you to stay stuck there, questioning yourself, shrinking your soul, bending your boundaries just to feel wanted. But God didn't call you to live in a space of emotional scarcity. He called you to abide in His abundance. He called you to walk in the kind of confidence that doesn't flinch when people walk away. He called you to understand that rejection isn't always a loss, it's often redirection. So don't chase someone who doesn't know if they want to walk beside you. Don't beg for clarity from someone who thrives in confusion. Don't lower your standards just to be included in someone's half-hearted world. If someone cannot see what God placed in you, that's their blindness, not your brokenness. If someone doesn't choose you, that doesn't make you unworthy. It simply means they are not equipped to steward the gift that is your presence. And trust me, you are a gift. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are an answer to prayer, a vessel of purpose, a light in the darkness. Stop waiting for their affirmation. Start walking in your anointing. Stop looking for their validation. Start leaning into your divine identity. When people are unsure, let them be unsure. You don't need to pause your destiny waiting on someone to catch up to what God already confirmed. Walk forward, keep your head high, speak with authority, live like you know who you are and whose you are, because you are not here to convince someone of your value. You are here to carry it boldly. And understand this, when you stop needing people to approve of you, you'll find that the right people begin to appear. People who don't flinch at your fullness, people who embrace your calling, people who show up consistently without making you question your worth. But it begins with you. It begins with deciding once and for all that your worth isn't up for negotiation. It's not waiting for someone else's realization. It's not hanging in the balance of someone's mood swings. It's established. It's confirmed. It's sealed in heaven. So don't waver when they waver. Don't break when they hesitate. Don't question who you are just because someone else does. You are loved. You are chosen. You are enough, and you don't need their certainty to prove it. There's something transformative that happens when you start to live like you're already loved. Not maybe loved, not conditionally loved, not loved if you perform well enough or stay quiet enough or bend yourself just right to be accepted. No, I'm talking about already loved, fully, freely, deeply, and eternally. Because the truth is, you are, and it's not a love that's earned. It's not a love that fluctuates with your failures or fades with time. It's not a love that's held back until you check every box or reach a certain standard. It's a love that was poured out over your life long before you ever knew you needed it. It's the kind of love that comes from the heart of God Himself, the kind that doesn't hesitate, doesn't retreat, doesn't abandon you in the dark. When you start acting like you're already loved, everything changes. You stop performing for attention. You stop striving for approval. You stop compromising your worth to be noticed. You stop chasing the kind of shallow love that disappears when things get hard. You begin to realize that you don't need to be picked by people when you've already been chosen by God. You don't have to settle for fragments of affection when you have access to a love that never runs out. And suddenly, the desperation falls away. The anxiety of being enough disappears. You're no longer living from a place of lack. You're living from a place of abundance. But the world will try to convince you otherwise. It'll whisper lies in your ear that say you're not good enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not worthy of being truly loved. It will try to convince you that you have to earn your place in someone's heart, that you have to constantly prove your value, that you have to be everything to everyone or you'll be forgotten. But those are lies from the pit of hell, and it's time to silence them with the truth of heaven. Because the one who made you did not make a mistake. He didn't mess up when He formed you. He didn't skip over you when He poured out His love. He looked at you and He called you beloved. He looked at you and He said, "That one right there is mine." When you walk in that truth, people can't manipulate you with fear of abandonment. When you live like you're already loved, you're not afraid of losing someone who can't love you back, because you know real love never has to be begged for. You become unshakable, not because you're perfect, but because you know you're perfectly loved. And when you know you're loved, you stop shrinking to fit into places God never called you to be. You stop allowing people to treat you like you're replaceable. You stop accepting halfway efforts and confusing signals. You start to expect the kind of love that reflects the God who lives in you, steady, sacrificial, steadfast. There is power in carrying yourself with the confidence of someone who knows they are already loved. It changes how you speak, how you walk, how you pray, how you wait, and how you let go. You stop chasing closed doors and start trusting that what is for you will recognize you and choose you without hesitation. You stop lowering your standards and start rising to meet your calling. You stop clinging to what hurts and start opening your heart to what heals, because you're not out here looking for someone to define you. You already know who you are. And you already know whose you are. You are not a mistake. You are not an afterthought. You are not a burden. You are not invisible. You are not hard to love. You are deeply, completely, passionately loved by the God who breathed life into you. And when you truly believe that, when it sinks into your bones and takes root in your spirit, you'll stop begging for love from people who don't even know what it is. You'll stop trying to earn what's already been freely given. And you'll finally understand that living like you're already loved is the most powerful thing you can do. One of the clearest signs of love, value, and sincerity is presence. Not promises, not excuses, not empty words tossed out to keep you close when it's convenient, but presence, because the truth is simple. People make time for what matters to them. When someone truly values you, they will not leave you wondering. They will not keep you on hold, second, guessing your place in their life. They will show up. They will make the call. They will make the drive. They will find a way. You won't have to beg for a moment of their day, because you are already part of their priorities. And when someone makes you a priority, it shows. You feel safe. You feel seen. You feel respected. That's what love looks like. That's what honor feels like. Far too many people are caught in the trap of waiting for a text, for a reply, for a meeting that never comes, for effort that never appears. And in the silence they start to question themselves. Am I asking for too much? Am I being too needy? Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they've got a lot going on. But over and over it happens. They have time for everything else. Time to scroll, time to post, time to hang out with others, time to enjoy their lives, but somehow not enough time for you. And the ache grows louder, but let me tell you something that will bring freedom to your heart. Consistency speaks louder than excuses. You don't have to chase someone who knows your worth. You don't have to keep defending your need for presence. Because where love is real, presence is automatic. It's not about demanding someone's every minute. It's not about needing constant attention. It's about mutual investment. It's about knowing you matter to someone because they show you, not just with their lips, but with their life. Love doesn't make you chase. It invites you in. It includes you. It makes room. And when someone doesn't make time for you, when you constantly feel like a burden, like an afterthought, like a backup plan, believe what you see. Because people will prioritize what they truly care about. They'll move schedules, they'll make sacrifices, they'll inconvenience themselves, not because they have to, but because they want to. Love wants to be near. Love chooses presence, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. You are not asking for too much when you desire to be valued. You're not wrong for noticing when someone's actions don't match their words. God didn't design you to beg for the kind of love He freely gives. You were made to be pursued with intentionality. You were made to be cherished with commitment. You were made to be someone's "I'll find a way," not their "maybe later." And if you constantly feel like you're fighting just to be noticed, that's not love, that's confusion. And God is not the author of confusion. He is the author of peace, of clarity, of truth. He doesn't play games with your heart, and He doesn't want you trapped in a relationship where you're the only one showing up. So many people settle for less than they deserve because they believe it's the best they'll ever get. But you need to know this. The right people will make time. The right people won't leave you hanging. The right people will reach out. They'll remember the details. They'll follow through. They'll carry your heart with care, not with carelessness. You won't have to explain over and over why consistency matters, because they'll already understand. and they won't disappear when things get inconvenient. They'll draw closer. This is not about judgment or bitterness. It's about discernment. It's about guarding your heart, because your time is precious. Your love is valuable. Your presence is a gift, and it shouldn't be wasted on people who only make time when it benefits them. You deserve to be met with the same energy you give. You deserve to be seen, to be pursued, to be chosen, not occasionally, but continually, and the moment you stop accepting bare minimum, you make space for someone who will give you their best. There comes a point in life when you have to make a decision. Either you're going to keep shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, or you're going to stand tall in who God made you to be. You can't do both. And far too many people are walking around as a fraction of who they truly are, not because they aren't gifted, not because they aren't powerful, but because they've been surrounded by people who are intimidated by their light. So instead of shining, they dim. Instead of speaking up, they stay silent. Instead of rising, they shrink. All because someone else couldn't handle their greatness. But you weren't created to live a small life. You weren't formed in your mother's womb by the hands of the Almighty just so you could tiptoe around the insecurities of those who don't understand your calling. You were made to walk in truth. You were made to lead with boldness. You were made to rise with confidence. That doesn't mean you're better than anyone, but it does mean you're not less. And the moment you start lessening yourself to make others feel more secure, you've already started losing the very essence of who you are. You were never meant to fit in places that require you to hide parts of your heart. You were never meant to walk in rooms that only accept you if you stay quiet, stay small, stay manageable. That is not your portion. That is not your calling. You carry too much purpose to be boxed in by people who fear what they don't understand. The anointing on your life is too heavy to be watered down to please people who can't handle your oil. And the truth is, the right people will never ask you to be less. The right people will see your fire and honor it. They'll feel your strength and celebrate it. They'll hear your vision and support it. They won't be intimidated by you. They'll be inspired. But as long as you keep lowering yourself to match the level of those who are insecure, you'll always feel frustrated. You'll always feel like something inside you is fighting to break free. That's because it is. Your spirit knows it wasn't made to live under the weight of someone else's comfort zone. Your soul knows that you were called to rise higher, to speak louder, to live bolder, and that's why it hurts every time you pretend to be someone you're not just to keep the peace. That's not peace. That's bondage. Don't confuse meekness with shrinking. God calls us to be humble, yes, but humility is not hiding. Humility is strength under control, not strength thrown away. Humility is knowing who you are in God and still choosing to serve with grace, not pretending you're not gifted just to make someone else feel okay. There's nothing holy about hiding your light. There's nothing righteous about denying your calling. There's nothing pure about staying silent when God gave you a voice. You are not too much. You are not too loud. You are not too passionate. You are not too strong. You are exactly who God called you to be. And if someone's insecurity can't handle that, let them wrestle with it. But don't you dare shrink for their sake. Don't you dare fold your wings to fit in their cage. Don't let their fear define your freedom. You were made to soar. You were made to stretch. You were made to move. So move. It's not your job to carry someone else's insecurity on your shoulders. It's not your job to make yourself smaller so they can feel bigger. That's not love. That's not friendship. That's not alignment. That's dysfunction, and you are not called to carry dysfunction. You are called to carry glory. So start walking like it. Start talking like it. Start living like it. Stop apologizing for being who God made you to be. You weren't created to be a shadow. You were created to shine. There comes a moment when you have to stop reading between the lines and start reading what's plainly in front of you. No more decoding mixed signals, no more justifying silence, no more building castles out of crumbs. The truth is simple. If they wanted to, they would. It doesn't need to be overanalyzed. It doesn't need to be rewritten into something softer. Because love doesn't hide. Commitment doesn't hesitate. And when someone's heart is truly for you, their actions will align with their words, not sometimes, not only when it's convenient, but consistently, intentionally, clearly. There's no need to chase what's genuine. When someone wants you in their life, they don't make you guess. They don't leave you waiting in a fog of confusion. They don't disappear without explanation and return only when they need something. No, real love shows up, real care makes space, real connection follows through. And if that isn't what you're experiencing, it's time to stop trying to fill in the gaps and start trusting what their absence is already telling you. Because silence is a message, avoidance is a message, inconsistency is a message, and your spirit, if you're honest, already knows. We serve a God who is not vague. He doesn't send mixed signals. He doesn't play games with your heart. When He speaks, it is truth. When He moves, it is with purpose. And when He brings people into your life, it is for mutual growth, for mutual love, for the building of something sacred. But when people are unsure, when they are half in and half out, when they disappear in your valley and only return in your harvest, that's not love, that's convenience, that's inconsistency, and you deserve more than that. You deserve the kind of presence that stays through the storm, not just when the skies are clear. So many hearts are stuck in cycles of hope deferred. You keep waiting, keep praying, keep holding on to a person who has already shown you, time and time again, that you are not their priority. And you tell yourself maybe if you change, maybe if you wait a little longer, maybe if you prove your worth, they'll finally come around. But beloved, your worth is not a performance. It's a promise sealed by heaven. You don't have to earn love that's real. You don't have to convince someone to see you. You don't have to fight for scraps when God called you to a feast. If someone truly wanted to call, they would have. If someone truly wanted to see you, they would make a way. If someone truly wanted to love you, you'd feel it without having to ask for it every time. Love doesn't make excuses. It takes action, and you deserve action. You deserve someone who leans in, not someone who constantly pulls away. Someone who values your time, not someone who only fits you into theirs when it's easy. Someone who chooses you daily, not someone who makes you an option in a sea of distractions. Don't let your heart become numb trying to carry the weight of someone else's indecision. Don't let your soul wither in the drought of their inconsistency. If they wanted to, they would, and if they don't, let that be the clarity you've been praying for. Because God is not trying to confuse you. He's trying to free you. Free you from attachment to people who were never sent to stay. Free you from the pain of false hopes. Free you to receive the love He's been preparing for you all along. One that won't leave, won't play games, won't make you question your worth. You are not too much. You are not too hard to love. You are not asking for too much when you ask for effort, consistency, and clarity. That's not neediness. That's discernment. That's knowing your value. That's honoring your heart. And when someone wants to, truly wants to, they won't have to be reminded, convinced, or begged. They will show up. They will match your energy. They will meet you where you are. So stop clinging to potential and start paying attention to patterns. If they wanted to, they would, and if they don't, then they were never meant to hold what God has placed inside of you. There is a kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly trying to prove that you're worthy of being kept. It's not just physical tiredness. It's spiritual weariness. It's the ache of giving your best and still being questioned. It's the ache of staying loyal and still being overlooked. It's the ache of molding yourself to fit into someone else's world, only to be told you're still not quite enough. But that is not what love is. That is not what God designed your heart for. You were never meant to live in a constant state of performance. You don't have to audition to be loved. You don't have to carry the weight of someone else's inability to see your value. When God sends the right people into your life, they won't make you fight for a seat at the table. They'll pull out the chair and welcome you in. You were created with worth already sealed inside of you. Before you spoke a word, before you achieved a single thing, before you knew how to give or receive love, God looked at you and called you valuable, not because of what you could do, but because of who He made you to be. The world will tell you that you need to earn love, that you need to look a certain way, talk a certain way, succeed at a certain level to be chosen, to be kept, to be worthy. But heaven tells a different story. Heaven says you were worth dying for before you ever even breathed your first breath. That's the kind of love you were created for. That's the kind of love your soul longs for. Not love you have to fight to earn, but love that shows up because it sees who you are and knows your value. When someone truly values you, they won't make you jump through hoops. They won't leave you hanging in confusion. They won't constantly make you feel like you're just one mistake away from being forgotten. People who are meant to stay will not base their commitment on your performance. They will root it in truth, loyalty, and real connection. And when love is real, it won't punish you for being human. It won't shame you for having needs. It won't withdraw every time you're not perfect. Real love leans in. Real love holds on. Real love doesn't need to be earned. It needs to be received. Too often, people tie their worth to how hard they're trying. The harder you try, the more you hope it will be enough. You become the one always calling, always giving, always adjusting, always explaining, always waiting. And it's not that you're too much. It's that you've been giving to people who were never meant to carry what you hold. You're trying to prove yourself to people who were never assigned to see you properly in the first place. You're exhausting yourself in a relationship that's become a test when love was always meant to be a place of rest. Let this be the moment you stop begging to be seen. Let this be the moment you stop trying to twist yourself into something someone else can finally accept. You are not hard to love. You are not impossible to keep. But you have been surrounding yourself with people who don't know how to love deeply, so they keep placing the blame on you. And that's not fair, and that's not truth. God never called you to live your life proving your worth. He called you to walk in it. He called you to own it. He called you to live from it, not for it. You are not asking for too much when you desire consistency. You're not wrong to want someone who sees you and chooses you even on your off days. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's discernment. That's knowing what your soul needs and refusing to settle for anything less. You don't have to become someone else to be loved. The right people will love you for who you are, not who you pretend to be. And the people who truly belong in your life won't need you to prove yourself just to be kept. They'll keep you because they see the treasure you already are. So let this be your moment of release. Release the need to prove your worth. Release the anxiety of chasing people who were never meant to stay. Release the fear that you're not enough, because you are, you always have been. The right people will never need to be begged, convinced, or reminded of your value. They'll see it, honor it, and protect it. And until they come, don't be afraid to walk alone. Don't be afraid to act as if what God promised is already yours. Don't be afraid to raise your standards, protect your peace, and wait with confidence. Because the love you're waiting for, the purpose you're building toward, the life you're praying for, it doesn't require you to shrink. It requires you to stand tall in faith, in truth, and in who God made you to be. You are not waiting to be chosen. You already are. You're not waiting to be seen. He already sees you, and when someone truly wants you in their life, they won't hesitate. They'll pursue, they'll commit, they'll show up with intention. Until then, walk like it's already done. Live like you're already loved. Speak like you already belong, because in Christ you do, and nothing can take that away.